Why are you saying this weed thing? I'm not stressing no point about
Well, that's what we're talking about here. What do you mean?
I just let y'all finish our conversation. I got derailed.
I occasionally just sit back trying to figure out where this is going because
the Yetis affecting.
I'm literally lost here. I don't know how we got on this.
That's what
I don't know how this rant came about.
That's what I said.
People, I apologize for Brother Black and his erroneous comments.
I think
No, I'm not. I never sit in the middle. Whenever I ever sat in the middle.
You because it's supposed to block.
Well, you sit there real quick. We can tell real quick. I'm gonna tell. You sit there. Let me just see if you sit there. If that keeps it blocked.
I'm sure it's still. I know it ain't gonna block me.
Oh, you good there as long as you keep your head up. Don't be all down here. Don't be outside. I'm gonna be honest. You good to go.
This is Black, and let's get to the show.
Okay.
I'm using the bathroom real quick.
You for real?
Yeah, I'm getting in.
God damn.
I didn't even crack that.
Go ahead, brother.
He got the weakest bladder in the city.
You ain't even drank the beer yet?
He's slow and he got the weakest bladder in the city.
Well, today is January 11th, 2020, and this is another episode of the SquadKast podcast. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Let's get this party started.
Well, let's just jump right into things. Then, first thing on my mind, we got ourselves a cold one. Like I mentioned earlier, first snow of the year, first real snow.
Wasn't expecting it, but it's well deserved. We've been waiting long enough.
January and it's Iowa.
You guys, by chance, into ice fishing at all?
No, that's white people shit. Sorry.
Hey, whoa.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's mostly true. I'm going to give you that.
You know.
Me being half white, I have found myself out on that ice a couple of times. So I got a buddy from the job. He's into that shit. He's white.
I'm just saying, bro, that's not an activity that too many people of color engage in per se. Because most of us probably can't fucking swim. Number two, most of us probably don't know how to fish. So either one, we canceled out, baby.
Right.
So.
But that's saying you don't know how to fish. Do y'all fish?
No, I don't even eat fish. I'm good.
Well, I get if you don't eat fish, but just.
I did it one time. With the kids, one time.
I got all the gear and everything. I like to fish. I love fishing. I'm a catch and release guy. I don't eat the fish. I catch. I'm the water's dirty as fuck.
Can't even get into it for
yeah,
sport.
here, if you're going somewhere, yeah, we got to try.
Don't eat fish out the Iowa water.
Oh, I see you do
where it
it.
came from.
I mean, you know, to each his own.
Okay, so yeah, cold day, and you know, reminds me of what could possibly be a cold day in hell if World War III gets to cracking.
Oh, your boy Trump.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So the big panic right now is another war in the Middle East.
Yes.
Trump decided to just pick a leader, some sort.
The most powerful Iranian leader.
At that.
And off him, you know, like it wasn't shit. I couldn't tell exactly. I still haven't pieced it together, but it looks like it was just a car cruising in the city and just dropped some missiles on it. Is that what it was?
By a drone.
By a drone?
It was a drone hit, and it hit Soleimani, and everybody that was with him were surrounding him.
I see. And yeah. So they took out just more than one person.
It was more than one person.
Took out the second person. I do, but
intense.
Ridiculous.
All right. Now, of course, Salami, whatever his name is a bad guy. I think you could agree to some extent he is a bad guy. But as all powerful people who are bad guys also in this world, it's not that simple. The same as Tupac. Right. He was an important person. We mentioned earlier he helped defeat ISIS.
Yeah.
But he also did kill a lot of innocent people, including Americans as well. So.
Yeah, well, we killed people too.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, as I was saying, this is very American for us to find a leader in the Middle East and just like we don't like this guy. Let's stir some shit up.
This reeks of George Bush all over again.
No, this reeks of
Reagan.
America. Okay, this is our style, especially when the heat is on. And if there's any heat on right now, Donald Trump, he's like this. He wakes up every day like, whoo,
no, he ain't.
It's hot. This impeachment breathing down him.
He gives two fucks.
Trust me. Oh no, he gives a couple of fucks. He gives a couple of fucks.
No,
he does.
He don't give a
He
fuck.
gives a couple of fucks.
I
He's
don't
got
think
to.
so.
He
I
feels
That's
the
why
pressure.
he did this shit. 'Cause
Yeah.
he gives 2 fucks.
There you
That's
go.
why he did this.
Because he gives 2 fucks. He's like, I gotta kill somebody.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I got to kill somebody.
Is it he gave 2 fucks?
He
So
started
can
this.
I go come with
My
wisdom?
bad. I'm sorry.
Go come with wisdom.
I'm sorry.
Did he give 2 fucks and really believe in his whole heart that this guy was evil? He deserved to go, or did he say, "Wait a minute, I'm being impeached. Re-election's coming up. Let me do something that may seem like I did something for the country,
Definitely.
so I could go ahead and rebuild my image, so I could avoid these accusations against me and throw the American people off what's going on."
But are we honestly, are you actually going to imply that Trump has ever said or thought, let me do something for America?
He's never
And
did that.
No, I think it's always, he's like,
And
what,
his main
how
thing
can I
is-
benefit from this?
Exactly,
And
and
his
that's what I'm saying. He said, well, you know what, I'm being impeached. The country's starting to turn on me right now. Everybody's jumping down my throat, pause. And I gotta do something to save face here. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take out an Iranian top elite general that actually, like my brothers and constituents said, helped defeat ISIS.
Right. Amongst, I mean, and also defend the nation, as well at the same time.
He actually, I mean, as bad as he killed innocent Americans, or whatever, he actually protected the fucking troops while they was over there fighting ISIS.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said,
It's
you can look at it however you want to
Right.
look at it. I'm looking at it from a political standpoint. With elections coming back up, this shit is not by chance.
It's bigger than what they making it seem or putting out to be as far as for why they killed him. I don't give a fuck what you say.
When I can't remember who said it, but their comment was, the press loves war.
Yeah, war brings money.
Oh man, there's people that's good
War
stuff
brings
to
money.
take pictures of, to write about. It's fascinating, it's interesting. People were always into it. So I mean, this is just it's really really tough to see exactly where this is gonna go, because the press has all this fucking power ultimately at the end of the day, because that's who's gonna really convey what's happening out there.
Oh, of course.
Trump's going to say what he wants to say, but most of the people are going to get their information from their actual news sources. You know what I mean? And whether, depending on what side you're on, are you conservative, liberal, are you somewhere in the middle, which doesn't really exist as far as the press goes. I mean, the press is over here or over here at all times. There's no middle ground. Unless MSNBC gets weird and hires like a Megyn Kelly. And then, the bitch questions blackface and loses her job soon after that, so.
Out of there.
Right. So yeah, another war potentially is imminent. I don't know if it's World War III. Clearly, I have my doubts about Iran to go toe to toe with good old
Well, I'm
United States.
saying,
But they're wanting to start some shit potentially.
We bombed the general. They then retaliate.
Yep.
And then luckily, not luckily, but we're very fortunate that no Americans, anybody was killed in their retaliation.
Yep.
And then a plane goes down.
Oh my God!
Just now recently.
We already have collateral damage from this horse shit. 162 people, innocent Iranian or Ukrainians, and amongst whoever else might be in there from other nations and other parts of the world, just shot the fuck down.
Shot down.
Iran was like, well, seems risky. This could obviously be an attack. Shoot it, boom, just like that.
And they, they gave their response as to their quote unquote part in the plane going down. Now, whether people choose to accept that for what it is, then just know that these are the repercussions of war, but also know that, like I said, it's election year, and we also know war brings money.
Yep.
All right? So let's not forget about that.
all about
For some weird reason, people don't like to vote in a new president when the war is cracking on. I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure. I just would never think, well, since he started it, if he started it, get the fuck out of it. This guy's over here starting the war. So
Black got some facts. Go ahead and spew
So
them.
I'm gonna just say, when y'all get a chance, Google the Strait of Hormuz. I feel like this is my personal opinion. You can say I'm reaching or whatever, but it always come back to money. So the Strait of Hormuz is where they ships go as far as with traveling with gallons of oil. That's fucking $1 million, $1 billion money revenue. And that's not just for over there in Iran. That's U.S., that's fucking Great Britain, that's China, all that shit. They intercepted like 6 ships in a matter of a couple of months in 2019. That's all the part of them tariffs and sanctions that we talked about. You think that's not a reason why he wanted to knock his ass off? Oh, he gonna make it seem like, oh, just because he was attacking Americans in the Middle East. Come on, bruh. But like I said, that's just me.
I mean, I would love it. I would not love it, but I would actually appreciate it if it was if I thought it was that deep, that lyric. Because money is always going to be a factor, which is with Trump's fucking driving factor. But I think clearly Trump is too stupid to understand that type of deep like consequences. Well, this is what's happening over here, so this is why I'm going to kill this person. I think Trump is not concerned about what's happening over there.
I'm gonna have to agree with Chef, only because, let's be clear, Trump, when he actually speaks, he literally avoids questions and don't know what he's talking about.
He never knows what he's talking about.
And this is coming from his mouth, but when he's delivering a message, obviously this is coming from somebody in his staff that is writing and telling him what to say. And let's be clear, his track record is not very good. He has not made himself look good in the media at all whatsoever.
Right. I mean, that depends on what side of the line you're on.
So if he has not looked good in the media whatsoever, that means the people in his camp are pretty illiterate to me. So I mean, they don't have the mental capacity to even think that far in depth to say, hey. I mean, because the oil thing has been going on for years. Right. I mean, this has been going on for years since Reagan, and then George Bush came in, and then Bill Clinton, then so on. But I don't really want to say that because Obama had I think he had like a little treaty or something with the Iranians.
Oh yeah, 10 years. It would give him at least 10 years before they had a nuclear weapon. Now the Iranians just like, well, I guess if you were just out here killing us like that, we don't have no agreements no more. We're just gonna do whatever we want to do.
It was cool when Obama was in, but now y'all let this asshole take over. Now it's like
prior to this treaty, basically, that's what he stopped. So by him stopping that, the reason why a part of that nuclear treaty was so that way they would stop robbing their ass with on water with them fucking ships. Cause they didn't have nothing that would stop them.
And
the whole war going back and forth.
Because they had all the sanctions.
So that's why Obama brought that into fucking tuition in the first place. Him fucking taking that shit away just start a whole new fucking bullshit between Iranians and Iraq and all that other shit. I might not be on point with all the different cities or countries that I'm saying, but Google it and look it up and you'll see the references that I'm saying.
Let me say something real quick. America, stop interfering with shit going on in other countries and worry about the shit you got going on here. Let's be clear. We have more homegrown terrorists than motherfuckers that have attacked us.
Jesus Christ, man.
We have had more school shootings than any other third world country in the world. So I've always been a person that always felt like we as a country stick our nose in every other country's business to try to prove our superiority over these countries. And make us, we big bad USA, we the best, and and we got shit going on in our own country that we ain't even addressing. Oppression and all type of shit.
Detroit, Flint with this fucking water. We got money for a water, but we still ain't fixed the fucking water in Detroit. Flint, come on.
Still living that water.
That shit, but we worried about Australia and fucking animals though. But we ain't worried about our own right here.
Well, let me ask you then, because this relates to the military, then obviously if there's another war, hell, they're sending like 3,000 soldiers over there right now as a result of this. When y'all were come of age, remember we had to
make yourself
I forget what that sign eligibility thing, right? Which is only required for men, which is stupid fucked up. Selective service,
right? Selective service.
Which I don't understand how that's actually different from the military, man. Because it's always like, listen, we're not saying we finna call you up. We're just saying we want to know that you're ready. I'm listening, bro. Just sign the shit, cause it's the law. We'll throw you in jail if you don't.
Yeah.
What? So, but did you guys ever even think about possibly, and I'm sure you once or twice, someone tried to recruit you, or you seen all the classic setups and, in and around schools or, teenager events where they're trying to do some early drafting?
Well, it's a little different for me because mostly all the men in my family have military background.
Right, okay.
My dad's in the Army, my uncle, Army. My Uncle Teddy was a Marine that actually served in the Persian Gulf War in '92, got injured in line of duty. I got a couple aunts, so on. So for me, that looked like that might have been the path per se, but I never was the one for the armed forces.
You didn't feel it calling or no, right?
No, I never did ROTC or none of that dumbass shit. Like I'm just
we were still in high school when 9/11 happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just to see, why would I sign up knowing I'm for sure going to war if I said
but in regards to that, the signing up part, when I did it, I just looked at it like, well, if it happens, it happens. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't been in I feel like more danger walking the streets around this motherfucker and growing up in Chicago than I would fear.
Which is
going
always
overseas,
the contention in the back of any person of color's mind. You want to serve the armed forces, go over to another country, fight for your damn life, make it back just to have to do the same thing here in the
And then you come back and then you're mentally fucked up.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then your country doesn't take care of you. Shout out to the soldiers that served though. We appreciate y'all.
We salute you.
Brother Mike.
Shout out to my cousin Mike.
I did have a grandfather who served, I think, in the Korean War.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he actually got, he was a prisoner of war for a couple of years. He was marched over mountains, got barefooted and shit, held for a couple of years, and he certainly came back messed up. He asked my mom, she's got some scary stories about the way my grandfather behaved after coming back.
Let me tell you, prime example of post-traumatic stress syndrome. I used to live on the east side, right, on East 13, and I used to live across the street from this guy who was just off, you know what I'm saying, just a little weird, you know what I'm saying? So, when we'd be outside, me and the neighbors hanging out and shit, we were just like, what is wrong with this guy or whatever? So one day, I got a phone call saying the neighbor across the street, called the police and had them looking at my house and car and other people's shit, right? So I'm pissed off. So when I get home from work, I beeline right across the street to this dude's house. I never spoke to this guy there, and I've lived over there for like a couple of years now. So I go over there and, he looks behind him and says, it's okay, I'll be back. But nobody's in there but a dog. This ain't funny. So then I go out there and we talk, and he's telling me that, these neighbors broke in his house and stole precious antiques from him. They terrorized him, and he said he didn't call the police on me. It was just these said people, whatever. Then he said, I served in the forces and these wars, but he openly admitted that he suffered from post-traumatic stress syndrome and that he has a social worker and that he said he's not like the violent kind. He doesn't have the violent part of that disorder.
Right.
He's more just a person of solitude. He stays by himself, which now it makes sense from the outside looking in when I'm just observing him. Okay, now it makes sense why he's the way he is.
Right.
Long story short, I find out he killed himself.
Damn.
He shot himself in the garage. His social worker found out that he hadn't been to work in a couple of days and went over to check on him, and that's how she found him.
Shit.
War is real, and it will fuck you up.
I mean, whether the consequences are happening in real time or after the fact when you got to go home and you just got nothing but time to think about, the process, or not even really, you have a difficulty even doing it.
Kind of fucked me up because the last conversation we had was to that capacity. It wasn't really a good, when it ended okay, but the intent wasn't good. And then when I found out what he was going through, and then to find that out, I was like, wow, that is crazy. I lived across the street from that.
That being said, obviously, anyone out there struggling with depression and thoughts of suicide, there's plenty of help out there. Make sure you're asking friends.
Go to our previous episodes where we talked about mental health, where we actually had a professional look her up.
Shout out to Amber.
Shout out to Amber.
So what about you? I mean, you got a son too, but obviously he's young. But you got sons who are about to be men.
Yeah. And
thinking, how old is your son? Your oldest right now?
17.
Look at that, brother.
Yeah.
This is history repeating itself,
Yeah.
essentially. Maybe in a little bit different ways, and potentially still right now. But he's coming of age, and here go the Middle East popping off in a new way again.
Exactly.
You know, and when he turns 18, if he come to you like, Dad, guess what I want to do? I mean, that's got to be a tough. I can't even imagine what those feelings would be.
I just feel like, well, I don't know. I know my kid, and he's not that type. He's like me. He ain't for the armed forces. He ain't for taking orders and all that other shit. Not that, he can't do it or I couldn't do it. It's just the fact that I'm not gonna have somebody think they're superior to me because some made up official rank by the government to give me the right to yell at me, degrade me, to get me to do things that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Muhammad Ali, man. That man is a pioneer. I ain't never quarreled with no Viet Cong. Remember we said that shit? So that's the type of time
you want
I'm
me to
on,
go
bro.
kill poor brown people, just
You know
like
what I'm
me.
saying?
Like, why would I do that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my son's he's not like violent. Yeah, we play Call of Duty. He plays Fortnite, shooter games, but he's not like want to do ROTC and talk about joining the Air Force and the Marines and all that. Like none of my kids do because they know better. They're actually smart enough. All these kids actually are smart enough to realize what's going on. Unfortunately, what happens is that sometimes, depending on the demographics that you're in and how you're coming up, the Army and these selective services or whatnot might be your only chance to obtain some kind of wealth or property or something like that when you served it 4 years and then you come out and they give you this or give you that or whatever the case may be to better your situation. So I see a lot of our people and others, from different communities that fall into that. But, if you don't fall into that category, the rest of the people, they're realizing like this ain't for me. Because if you actually look at the numbers across the military board, like they've decreased over the years as far as
how many people are,
as far as
even though they just recently did have a record number of recruitments in the state of Iowa for some reason, but as a whole, you're right. They are down as a whole. I mean, and less than 1%, of course, of the U.S. population actually is in the armed forces, which kind of makes sense. And with today's technologies and capabilities, I mean, we have bombs that take care of work that,
exactly
1,000 men you need.
They killed his ass with a drone.
Right.
That shot a missile that killed him.
The only time I feel like this, we're not going to neglect that there are ground wars, but they're not like what you would think that you see in the movies where you just got thousands of troops just everywhere fighting thousands of troops on the other side and all that other shit. It's like real small and tactical. Just how they killed Bin Laden. It was a group of 5 elite, soldiers.
Oh, and they just swooped in on his ass.
Went in and just got him out of there.
And where was he at? He was in Iraq. Yeah. Like 10 miles away from one of the biggest military bases in Iraq.
In the fortress.
And they'd been there for years, according to what they, had
He was not in the cave with a satellite like everybody thought he was.
Right, he was just in a compound with a big wall on it. Now you can't tell me, you just can't tell me that important people fighting that war against him in that country didn't know that.
They definitely did.
There's so much corruption and it's the way in which Bin Laden was found and killed. Like there's just no way. I mean, almost to the point like that's exactly why the U.S. went in on sovereign territory. Like, oh, are you kidding me? Y'all got him right there in your backyard. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
We sent in a squad.
Yeah. Shout out to Obama. We love you, man.
Right. I mean, I always give Obama. And that being said, I don't even think, comparing Osama bin Laden, who was obviously that 9/11 connection was just too deep. They couldn't let it go. That's the man they was after the whole time for that whole goddamn thing. The Soleimani thing, there just wasn't that. There was no big announcement with a rally like Obama came out doing a two-step like this. Who I killed y'all. We doing selfies after this.
Yeah.
He came out with a goddamn strut about taking out one of the, most hated people in the world as far as America was concerned.
Yeah.
We have Trump just concerned about his own ass, just killing like fucking kill him. Let's see what happens.
With no evidence against me on this impeachment. Just want to talk about that so bad. Don't just stick to the facts of why the fuck you murdered this dude. You don't want to hear.
I did want to join the military to a certain extent because I didn't actually feel like I had a ton of options coming out of school. I mean, I could have went on and went to college but I hated going. I didn't like the idea of going to school. That just sucked for me. But I was like, maybe I could fucks with the Army. But I was so overweight that when recruiters would get a hold of me and I'd have to tell them, like, oh, hey, man, I'm like 350. They'd be like, well, call me if you lose 100 pounds, bro. Like, what?
Nah.
Y'all can't just get me in boot camp and whip my ass in the shit? They were like, yeah.
This ain't Full Metal Jacket, bro.
We need you today. We need you in 6 months. We need basic training. You're on the ground shooting at someone. All right.
My brother was in the Army, so I was still in high school when he was in the Army and he went over to Iraq. He was one of the ones that had to look for Bin Laden.
Oh, okay.
So and he ended up getting shot.
He ended up in the line of duty. Shout out.
That was more so once he got shot, I knew that I wasn't fucking with the Army or Navy or none of that.
Right.
From that point on, you know what I'm saying? He let me know every chance he got, like, you're not fucking with that.
Hey, don't do it. Don't do it, bro.
So, I'm saying I respect him and anybody that went out there and is doing it or is doing it now. I respect y'all for having the courage to go out there and risk y'all life for doing it, but nah, I didn't want to do that.
The bro ain't even the same. He got fucking nerve damage. He told me he can't even hoop the same like he used to and all that. So it's real, man.
Nah, I'm good.
Hell, you know, the few soldiers that I have known that have really seen that action as well and have been affected by it, but are still just as ready and capable to hop back into it and do what they, you know, feel is what they need to do in order to protect America and our rights and all of that. They will always tell you, like, bruh, I don't want to do it. Like, it's not an ideal scenario. We don't need wars. It's not about whether we can fight them or we can win them. Exactly. The goal is ultimately no war.
Exactly.
We need no war.
Exactly. So
maybe one day we'll be in some weird utopian of a society with no type of wars or major conflicts like that. Can you imagine the worst thing you'd have to face any day of the week is someone mentions that you have a wrinkle in your shirt? That's it. Hey, got a little crease. It looks weird.
I do appreciate.
That's it. And that's the drama stops there.
I appreciate the Iranian government because I posted a video on my social media where he was the supreme leader was given pretty much like a conference of what's going on, and he made it clear that you know, we have no beef with the American people.
Right.
This is against Trump, such and such and such and such.
But I mean, that's a bunch of horseshit.
I mean,
listen.
I'm just saying. Hold on. I'm just saying. From a publicity standpoint, it looked good. It looked like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure.
So for the American people,
Iranians.
Well, I'm talking about to the American people.
Yeah.
To the American people, it looked good to us.
Everybody,
It's like, look, it ain't us. It's that motherfucker.
Man, listen.
But I mean, we all know that if they, I really feel like if Iran really wanted to do something major, they would have done it by now. Could have done it a long time ago. And I just really believe that hopefully that this is the end of it all. I hope so.
You hoping Iran just ain't about that action?
I hope not, because I mean, they are looking, reporters talking about they're looking to obtain nuclear weapons and all this other stuff. So it's like, you know.
Big guns.
I mean, we just need to be conscious of what we're doing. Like I said, America, let's focus on what we got going on our own soil. And, you know, hopefully we don't see anything else happen. We still need more information on that. Playing with the Ukrainians going down. I would like to see a little more facts on that.
That being said, you know, just because, I mean, we got our problems here, but I am a true patriot in that, like, if you come from the president, we gotta go after you because because that's the top guy.
Oh, you lost me right there.
Theoretically, that's the top guy. So how could there be any limit to that? I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Go ahead.
I hear what you're saying, but you took out Big Boss. So this isn't, you know, you weren't just talking big shit, you did big shit. So now we gotta come out.
If it was the boss that I voted to put in,
it's too late.
Then I might feel some kind of way. But considering that who it is, if this is Obama, then I'll probably feel some kind of way. But outside of that,
it's like if
I don't give a
let's say
fuck.
you're on the basketball team, right?
If they attack Trump,
and one of your teammates you don't necessarily get along with. You don't get along with, right? But it's too late. You already, it's 3-on-3. This is your teammate. This is the rules. It's the inconvenience. He's there.
No, he ain't, bro.
He ain't doing nothing you're doing, but he's
He
there.
ain't on it.
He's over in the corner drawing shit. You over here with the ball. Like, is he gonna get in this game?
He's not
playing.
playing squad.
Point being,
Bro.
if someone takes him out, and now you're
Thank
just
you.
2-on-3,
Then we gonna ball the fuck out.
no, we gotta take one of these motherfuckers out now.
Nah, this ain't, come on.
It's
This
principle,
ain't,
man.
this ain't the world of sports. This ain't baseball where
It's
a
the same
pitcher
idea,
throws,
though.
hits somebody, and then the other team pitcher throws and takes the other guy out. That's not it, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's not it, bro.
No, I'm talking, we send him in, blow this motherfucker up. I don't give a fuck. He shouldn't have did what he did. I don't care what his beef was.
Nah.
Yeah, he was wrong. How about this? How about when...
Did you hear what he said when they made their press conference? They only want the heads, Trump, Pompeo, and one other
And the
son.
other guy.
Three.
So you
When
better
they
get
say
it
that
together.
stupid shit like one of us is gonna give it to him.
Bro, what the fuck did Trump do?
It's not gonna happen.
He hit
No.
Soleimani,
No.
and the other dude that he hit was another head dude. You better Google it.
You can't do
It
it.
was a fucking chest
You
move.
let one snake into the house and you don't do nothing about it, there go 10 more, just like that.
Yeah, we know that.
Tell you what, we got a rat in the house right now. The snakes are worse.
Man,
You
look.
have fun with your boy Trump.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, no fun. No,
Look here, man.
Bottom line, there's just some lines that can't be crossed.
Definitely, I understand the concept that you're coming with. That yeah, he's the president, all that, but no, he's
It's
not my
like, you know, we
president.
got family members we don't like or get along with. I think the point is, gentlemen, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. And money. Yeah, it's all a money game. So, whichever side you're on, good luck to you.
Peace be upon y'all.
Yeah, right.
You know.
So, well, you know, thinking of PTSD, there's something in this world that recently has gained a ton of traction as far as helping assist folks going through said ailment.
Right.
That being marijuana.
The leaf.
The leaf, the herbals,
flower.
the flowers, yeah,
Yes.
as I recently found out.
Miss Mary Jane herself.
Right, yeah, the flowers. Someone this
Or as the
kid
young
kept saying
folks
flowers,
call
just
it,
pissed me off.
the loud.
Illinois, not to mention Missouri the year before,
Right.
but just starting 11 days ago at this point, Illinois has legalized marijuana recreational.
Recreational use.
Right.
You can have up to
Right.
28 grams on you at a time.
And I'm not surprised actually. Illinois is the land of Lincoln. You know, so taking this progressive step isn't necessarily untraditional for Illinois. That's all I'm saying. Illinois. I keep saying Illinois.
Hometown. Shout out to Chi-Town, Southside, Wild Hunters.
I got into an argument with the lady this morning about how to say Illinois, so
Illinois.
I lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, your thoughts, gentlemen. You've expressed last cast.
Yeah.
You are pro cannabis.
Pro cannabis.
Black, you are pro cannabis.
Definitely.
And I myself am too. It doesn't make sense, especially all the people who go to jail and lose their lives over having a little bit of weed on them. It's just dumb as hell.
You got molesters and everything else.
Gangbangers and criminals and terrorists and people, money launderers. Money launderers, way worse than pockets.
Pedophilia is enough for me to put them
Boom.
high up on the rank. But
Right,
hey,
boom.
you put drug dealers up there, but okay, I don't get that.
To see the legalization of marijuana for medical and recreational use across the country is starting to be actually a beautiful thing. People are realizing it for what it is. It's probably one of the top alternative prescription
Just about
drugs
any,
or whatever
right, medication,
for, you know,
right.
medical use or what have you. I would prefer that opposed to Percocets, Oxycontins, hydrocodones,
Just
all
about
these
any
other,
traditional
you know,
pain
prescription pill that these pharmaceutical companies make off of you. You know, that's a business in itself that we'll probably get into another podcast. That's actually very important. But I just feel like it was always dumb to me. I feel like how they were locking up everybody over whatever you had marijuana-wise was ridiculous for the amount of time that they were giving people. I'm talking about from your average smoker that would just have like a little blunt or something to the guy that had maybe like a QP and he was trying to be Sosa on the block for the people. and they trying to give this man 15
Prison
years.
time. Prison time.
15 years fed on a first offense, you know, for something that's grown, that's been grown
that just grows
since time immemorial.
You don't know, you know, New Jersey has a natural weed that grows there, and it's so prolific that
It's called the Garden State.
Right, here you go. That you can call the like the local authorities to come remove it because it's bound to just sprout up if you don't treat it, take care of it, and keep it back. And it just grows constantly. I don't know if it's any good or not, but yeah, it's a form of natural weed that grows in the state of New Jersey. I'm sure maybe a few other areas out on the East Coast, but I forget exactly
Never knew that.
what it's called. But yeah,
every day.
exactly.
But you know, to keep going, I just, you know, with California, Vegas. I mean, a lot of the pioneers that started was on the West Coast, and you know, some up north of Washington, some on the East Coast as well.
In Missouri,
yeah.
one of the most religious damn states. Talk about evangelical. The whole damn state of Missouri is evangelical.
You know,
right.
to the Denver and all that. So I mean, they look at it like, you know, it's going to be here, whether we try to stop it or not, because you had this war on drugs for years, and now they was like, you know what, well, we're just going to make money off of it.
Right. And that's just it, Well, it leads right back to the money. All these states
comes right back to the
financial
money.
Benefits, shit.
Locked all the brothers up years ago. Now these motherfucking white people getting money, hella money off the dispensaries and shit, because we can't get no fucking dispensary in our name.
Again, I can't remember where, but there is some state that's issuing licenses to black people as a form of reparations that were specifically impacted by.
Did the ADOs negotiate that?
Basically, the old Rockefeller, you know, drug laws and shit.
Was that negotiated by ADOs?
I think it's a particular city or you know, portion of a state or something like that. What'd you say?
Was ADOs had something to do with that?
I don't know about that, but I mean, I guess if they did, that's okay, but. Fuck ADOS.
I don't want that as fucking reparations.
Right. I mean, as a like that was like, you know, like that's the idea. They weren't saying like, oh, we're done, but this is
saying that she
the
wanted
point behind
the profits from the sales from the marijuana.
Right. So basically, that's who was getting the first come first serve on state licenses or city or whatever. Were, you know, basically people of color or those who are impacted negatively by the, you know, unfair and misapplied drug laws.
So with the legalization for recreational and medical use also comes with another good thing, because then those individuals who's accused of said crimes to a certain capacity get their records expunged.
Right, yeah.
You know, so that's a good thing as well.
Absolutely.
So for the brothers that have simple misdemeanors of marijuana charges against them that was holding them back from getting a particular job of stature, now, you know, you might have the opportunity to be able to go ahead and try again and maybe get that now that that is off your background. So I think that's a plus in itself as well.
Definitely. Now, another catch to that legalization of it being recreational there in Illinois. Now, there's a bill I'll say Google it like I yelled earlier. There's a bill you want to look up as far as in reference to the legalization of the marijuana. Now, the catch is, any job there in Illinois can drug test you for weed, and if you were to fail, you can be fired from your job. That's the catch. Yeah, you can. It's recreational weed, but you can still lose your job for smoking.
You know, in a weird way, I don't think drug testing's stupid. I mean, my company does a drug test, and there's plenty of companies that does it that do not. And usually it's like the shittiest jobs or the lowest paying jobs that be trying to drug test you.
Give me the hardest time.
Like it's fucking $10 an hour, man.
Give me this bag of groceries, bro. What are you talking about? Like, I don't need. What do you?
Exactly. But to an extent, that's not really surprising, because alcohol is legal, and the way
that's been killing people for years.
Right. But if you show up drunk to work, or if you piss dirty with alcohol in your system, they're not gonna hire your ass. Like, you can't take it easy for this little bit of time, anyways. I'm not saying it's right, but for sure, I get why there's not leeway in the law to not drug test you, and certainly. Every job's gonna try to figure out a way why they justify why they do in the first place. So,
Did you guys happen to see the interview that was on KCCI with the little guy, this little older man?
The Iowa dude talking about how he didn't give a fuck. you still was gonna buy one and make it over the state line?
People, this little older Caucasian male drove 2 hours to Milan, Illinois, where it's legal there, to a dispensary, and he was interviewed on KCCI. You can Google it, look it up. It's still on there. I got the link. I could maybe put it in the description box. But he openly admitted and said, I like to partake in party endeavors, and I don't care what they say. I'm gonna come back with my own shit every time, and I don't care about the charges or the risk. So
it ain't like they're gonna catch pounds on me.
This is a little Caucasian white male letting it be known to whoever's watching that if you pull me over, I might have that on me.
I might have it on me.
And I don't give a fuck. You arrest me, I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna do it again. That's basically what he said.
I gotta tell you, Iowa law enforcement is sloppy as fuck if they didn't immediately try to figure out who that was and keep an eye out on the roads for this. Just to fucking make a point or an example out of his stupid ass for being so dumb on the news with you.
So then they said, of course, typical protocol when you're a state trooper or whatnot. Oh, we're gonna be looking for the drivers that are impaired, speeding. Because they can't just randomly pull. Well, I don't say they can't, because they can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? But technically, it's not like they can just every third car pull a motherfucker over. Hey, we searching you. You coming from Illinois? Hey, we want to see what you got. You know, shit like that, or whatever the case may be. But that guy didn't make it good for those people who think they might want to try to bring something back. He's just like blank, like I don't give a fuck.
Boys were probably in the back like, yo, what the fuck is Jeff doing? What the fuck is Jeff talking about? Shut the fuck up,
they like,
lady.
Dude, you guys can't shop in here, man. You guys gotta go, man.
His boy in the back, and I'm like,
I mean, Anita, Iowa has legal CBD oil right now in like 5 or 6 dispensaries in the state. That's only good for like 5 or 6 illnesses or something like that, as it is too. So.
Right, they got it at the Med Farm place over off of 73rd by the Bebops and Walmart and stuff. But I read an article about them. They're hoping that Iowa falls in line with everybody else because they're not thriving as a business. Because
they're a black market.
They're only limited to certain things that they can have in there.
Oh, you mean the local business here? Absolutely, because it's just CBD and there's only a handful of illnesses.
If you go on their website, they only got like 4 or 5 products. It's like oils, pills, and shit like that. It's, so they're really banking on something to shake here in Iowa, to get it happen here, so they could be able to provide, said things for.
And I'm pretty sure every year since they passed that CBD, there's been some attempt to pass additional bills by some group in some way. So it's inevitable. And now with basically all the states, if they haven't legalized it surrounding us, they've decriminalized it more than Iowa has. So they're only missing out on so much goddamn money for the state.
Exactly.
The Kim Reynolds, I don't know if y'all know who Kim Reynolds is.
I know who she is.
Fuck Kim Reynolds. She's one of the worst goddamn state governors ever.
Bitch.
She's not really for that shit. Right. And it's only inevitable, though, that her shortcomings as a governor, fucking with our budgets, if she happens to remain in office, this is where this is going to go. I think even she will have to inevitably face facts between the
non-voter ass.
Did you just say the N-word, brother?
I'm sorry, my brother. But
did you just say the N-word, brother?
That bitch just hurts.
Come on, have some restraint.
I feel like ultimately, I ain't gonna.
So it's just inevitable. It's gonna come. It might be a couple more years, but it's gonna happen.
I don't feel like a couple years. I feel like Iowa is slow to everything.
We did be the first to pass gay marriage. I'm just saying, that's a first. You said we were slow. I'm just saying that's a first.
Don't get me started. I want to break.
That's a first. We probably got a couple more in there.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
I'm just saying.
They just like them making it like we gotta talk about the LGBT shit in school. What
we want to talk about weed too? So you just want weed as well.
But you won't tell the truth about Black history? African American history though, but you want to make us learn LGBT.
Okay.
But I won't lose time.
I mean, you know what? That sounds super simplified.
I think we need to get back to where we
I just
were.
think it's much more nuanced than just learning Black history and LBGQT or whatever.
My point is, why are we having to learn? Why are you putting that on our kids? What is
I mean, listen.
I'm
I don't
wrong in
know.
that aspect.
If your 12-year-old comes home, do you want them to know more about weed than human anatomy and sexuality?
I would want them to know about. Why are you saying this weed thing? I'm not stressing no point about weed.
Well, that's what we're talking about here. What do you mean?
I just let y'all finish our conversation. I got derailed.
I'm impatient just sitting back trying to figure out where this is going
The
because
Yeti's affecting.
I'm literally lost here. I don't know how we got on this.
That's what I
I
said.
don't know how this rant came about.
That's what I said.
People, I apologize for Brother Black and his erroneous comments.
I think the point
And
is
we have no qualms or issues with the LBGQ, forgive me for not saying the right community.
or the Black community.
Or
Or the Black community.
for that matter. So we're just going to clean that up for the people.
No, I'm sorry if I did come off like I was attacking any side. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean it that
He's
that way.
gonna send out a tweet like
Yeah,
something
later.
to make it better.
He'll have a 3-part apology later on.
Yeah, make it better. That's right, Captain. Trump fucks it up even more when he tweets.
But back to what we're saying with the legalization in Illinois and things of that nature.
Shout out to Illinois for cutting the shit, getting right to it. They went right to recreational. They didn't fuck around with the medicinal horse shit.
Right.
Iowa, take a note, goddamn.
We gotta step it up,
Right.
Iowa, you know.
So-
Because what's gonna happen is that now you have Illinois that has it, of course, Colorado,
Excuse me.
Missouri. So we have 3 somewhat close
And Michigan.
neighboring places that has this, and what's gonna happen is you're talking about people gonna be just coming through, you know.
Yep.
And you know, why would you want that to happen when you can cultivate your own, and then you could tax it, make money off of it, and actually put the money to use for shit that really needed in the city. You know what I mean? Or the schools and shit like that. Because the schools is lacking so much. I truly believe if Iowa was to legalize it, it would produce so much income, wealth, that, you know, I believe a good portion of that should go back to the school systems because our kids are lacking. You know,
And they're always trying to cut the goddamn budget. They're always trying to cut the budget.
You know,
I don't understand it. Every year, less money for the schools.
they don't even have books. They don't even have books.
They should be like, we can't pay for nothing else because we're putting all our money in the schools. We want to be smarter because we're upset that we're not in a better position than where it should be.
And like you said, as far as the money they would make off of it, I seen you share a post, I want to say, where they made, what, 5.8 million in 2 days?
Yeah, Illinois made 5.8 million
In taxes.
in whatever, you know.
Or was that the revenue? Total revenue?
Total revenue in 48 hours.
So you telling me we wouldn't be able to put none of that 5.8 in the money they would make?
Do you know how much of that had to be Iowa money?
Come on,
now.
get that started.
Tons.
No.
Home Slice was on the news like, I'm here from Iowa.
Let it be
I don't give
known.
a fuck.
Yeah.
And I looked it up too. It is a 2-hour drive from here to Milan, Illinois. So I mean, it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. That's like going to Omaha or some shit like that.
Right, yes.
You know.
Easy peasy. I mean, everyone here has been going to Colorado, or even further, greater lengths than that to get it. So
to get good quality, you know.
So it only makes
Whatever.
sense. Illinois is just going to get such a revenue boost.
Yeah.
From their state and surrounding as a result of legalizing it. I mean, this shit should just be so legal that it's no different than than or alcohol or grain. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make sense that it's even a big hoopla. If they just legalize it across the board, everyone would basically get over it. Eventually, shit would calm down, and it would be just so normal. No one would talk about it no more. You know what we don't talk about? Cigarettes, because they've been legal forever. No one talks about no cost, no industry, no. It's just something that's just right. It's just there.
What happened? I'm glad you brought that up because what happened to all those cigarette campaigns that used to run all the time?
I think they're starting to work. Other than that, all these kids now are going to these vape pens.
Yeah, but vaping are kids killing people too.
Oh, for sure. You can't tell me that wasn't gonna happen.
That shit, you gotta
if you vape, just be careful.
It's a tough time eating regular food without.
Now you gotta compare which side effects is worse, cigarettes or vape shit. Cause they both got some fucked up effects.
Right. Yeah.
Cigarettes, have been here since time immemorial and it's been killing people since time immemorial. Now vaping is the new thing and that is starting to be the new wave of people getting sick, dying and things of that nature. And then you have this plant that's been here since time immemorial, not one reported death, overdose, cause of accident, anything, but it does so many good things and it's criminalized.
I mean, arguably, what are they saying? Early 30s, 40s, somewhere in there, weed/hemp production was competing directly with a lot of other industries. In a concerted effort, a handful of men got together and outlawed hemp/marijuana, specifically calling it marijuana to give it a Mexican relevance so they could put a racial negative aspect on it and scare all of their white supporters into saying, yes, indeed, this is a bad thing. We should make it illegal.
So hypocritical of us.
Into it.
Heroin was legal at one point.
Right.
You used to be able to go to a pharmacy and get heroin.
Boom.
And go home, beam up the sky, and there you go. So we're glad that we're seeing the change in the country.
Yeah.
We just need Iowa to get on board and help these people out with these disorders and just whatever in general. You know what I mean? So make that happen. Get that bitch Kim out of here. Something.
Progress, man. Let's just get this weird monkey off our back. All right, legalize it. All right.
So black.
No, but actually, the lead in there is marijuana, they say anyways. I have no way to actually verify this. I don't know. But the rumors on the street are marijuana gives you the munchies.
That's what it's true. That's what the rumor is. I don't know. I don't know. That's what the rumor is.
I can't verify nothing.
That's what the rumor is.
So
I gotta give you the recap on Taco La Familia.
Tacos La Familia.
The address is 1610 6th Avenue.
Small little joint.
it's some of the best fucking tacos in the greater Des Moines.
I gotta co-sign Brother Chef, and I gotta co-sign.
Yes.
Definitely on point. They got a fire soup. I want to say it was what? Pasta soup?
Listen, it was so good you was dipping your braids in it, man.
What?
You dipping the dreads in it.
Oh yeah, I definitely washed my dreads. It was ugly. It was
the dreads
ugly.
wanted to try to suit too,
It was ugly. But definitely that spot, we'd have to give them a 4 out of 5. It was a long, I'll give them a 5 out of 5. It was a long wait, that's why I kind of wanted to take a star away, but...
It did take forever with the wings, and you never did get your fries, right? You ordered some steak fries,
get my fries,
but they didn't charge you for them.
They did.
There is a slight English language barrier. Just very slight. So
the food
if you're not
is
speaking clear and loud and directly to the person, you might not get exactly what you want.
Food very good.
I had the wings for the first time.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even think to order wings at a Mexican restaurant.
Who would think that?
Bro, it was fire. And I didn't even think they were going to be crispy for some reason.
Extra crispy. Didn't have to even tell them that at that.
No.
So black folks, you won't be disappointed, black folks.
Tacos La Familia.
Yeah.
You didn't have to say, you can put these back in the fryer. We didn't have to do none of that.
You ain't got to go like, when you go on a Wingstop, let me get a 5-piece fried hard, extra, lemon pepper.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that.
None of that horse shit. You don't need no sauce on that bitch, They have a hot version. I didn't get that.
Yes.
It was still stupid good.
Get your tacos, fried, dyed, and laid to the slide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you get the regular joints, or you get a combination of both.
Like cabeza, that's beef cheek. I don't know if it's real beef cheek, but it's good. They just call it beef cheek. If it is real beef cheek, shout out to beef cheeks.
I just get the regular steak, carne asada tacos. I ain't really exotic like these brothers like that.
I like the pork ones too.
I don't eat no swine.
I just do the steak tacos, fried down, laid to the side, Other than that, I keep it basic.
There we go. But Tacos La Familia, You get 2 thumbs
Salute.
up from the SquadKast.
Salute.
Definitely.
Right.
Now we're about to go to Fuzzy Tacos after this.
Check this out.
I've never been there. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but
I have.
you know we're gonna go see for ourselves. You know if they've improved or not.
Let's see what it is.
So
that being said, you know what also can get you hungry sometimes, can get you just started, is a good battle.
Yeah.
You know, and whether you're in it or watching it, a good battle will just like stir some feelings.
they will do that.
Which leads me to brother DJ. You got a battle of the week for us?
I got a battle of the week. My shit.
His battle.
My
His
shit.
battle. Okay.
My shit just came out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out because just the last episode, I said that I don't know if that battle will ever come out due to a lot of technical difficulties or whatnot. But due to you know, whatever you want to call it, behind the scenes, the footage came out, and I kicked ass. That's what I do.
As usual.
I got a shout out to my bro NWX member Familia. Made a nice little dope comment on the YouTube on the battle for me. Looked out for me. That's real big. And yeah, so check that out. It's on the Unexpected Rap Battle League. djdacapo versus Khamily. 3-0. I got him out of there clean.
Shout out that.
And I'm gonna repost
with the weird setups and punchlines.
I'm gonna repost the second half of the podcast that we put that battle on as well. So
Okay.
we'll put that in. It'll probably be like Monday or Tuesday, but I'll drop that as a highlight as well. So it's one angle, as I mentioned before, and it starts about 30 seconds into to 58 names is first, but simple as that. No, I'll go ahead and post that as well. So
appreciate
But
that.
in my mind, it was a clear body. You might tell me if I'm being biased or because that's Capo, But I just want to give your honest opinion in the comments, like, share, all that good shit.
But on some real shit, I do got a battle of the week. Go to YouTube, URLTV.tv. Shout out to Smack, Norbs, P, Chico. Y'all should pay me for this promotion. But Sue Surf versus Geechee Gotti. Sue Surf is from Newark, New Jersey. Geechee Gotti is from Compton, California. 2 Crips going to war.
Okay.
And when I tell you that if you looking for that street feel, that motherfucker dirty talk, that motherfucker I done been in the can and I done been through some pain type shit, or the homie that been shot and I was standing next to him when he went down and I had to look at it with my own eyes type shit, watch that battle. That is some real fucking shit. Them brothers was going to war.
I'll make sure to put that in the description.
They was going to fucking war. Okay. To so much, I can't even call that battle. I can't even call it. I'm not gonna get mad if somebody says Sue Surf 1, 2-1, or 3-0, or Geechee Gotti 1-2, 1 or 3-0. Because I think you could argue either side. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give both these brothers they just do. And the content and the level that they were going at each other is just heights that I hope to achieve one day as I keep progressing. But that shit was fucking fire. Already over 1 million views and it just released last week.
Okay.
So check that battle out. You will not be disappointed. Trust me. URLTV.tv, Sue Surf, TSU, Surf, Riding the Wave, versus Geechee Gotti. You won't trust me. You will thank me later.
Well, that's battle of the week then.
Battle of the week.
All right. Well, that being said, a slight recap. It's a cold and snowy day.
Cold, snowy day.
War is bad, no matter what side of the line you're on.
Hopefully, we don't have to go through that.
Do your best to respect your neighbors and your immediate surroundings.
Take care of your own soil first before you go jump on somebody else's.
All right. Shout out to Illinois.
Shout out to Illinois, my hometown.
They did a good thing.
Right.
They took a little pressure off themselves,
yeah,
minimum, all right? And they made a little money in the process, so they're well on their way to. Tacos La Familia.
Tacos La Familia.
Fuzzy Tacos, we coming for you.
We coming for you, Fuzzies. All right. Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up. You get one shot.
Right.
Be rabid.
And battle of the week again.
Battle of the week. Geechee Gotti versus Sue Surf. URLTV.tv. Then go to the Unexpected Battle League and watch me versus Khamily and check that out. Like, comment. comment, share, subscribe.
Make sure you put in the comments how Khamily was asked with them punchlines. DJ name flicks, trash man.
But, you know, like I said, that's pretty much it. Guys, I feel good.
Back at it. We're back at it, regular schedule. How
Snow didn't set us back.
I'll be dropping these basically the next night. These aren't too difficult to edit with this very simple setup. So,
Get me on different images, different parts of the venue here. You know, we're just not always gonna be behind the green screen and putting images behind us. We want to be off that raw, gritty feel sometimes. And sometimes
Also,
people get too comfortable.
I do want to mention 2 dates so far. Every piece of music featured in all these podcasts is original. Okay? Well, if it wasn't something I recorded specifically, I made the beat. Like last week, that was mine as well.
Very talented.
I'm not saying that it is that good. I'm just saying that we're all in house with it, man.
Yeah, you know, we don't want to say we don't own the rights.
Right, yeah, we own the rights to everything.
We want to, you know,
right here. So,
complete ownership.
As impressive as it is, or isn't if you a bastard. So, that being said, this is SquadKast podcast, another successful episode.
Fuzzy Taco.